August brings back to school time to Smith County. The students, they've headed back to school, they have purchased their clothes, they've purchased their school supplies, and the school buses are rolling. And there's something else going on in August. It's football time in Smith County. And today we have both schools. We have Jimmy Maynard, head football coach from Smith County High School, as well as Ron Marshall from Gordonsville High School, head football coach. And we're going to talk about the upcoming season and the games, the events, and everything that goes along with football time in Smith County. Today we have Terry Collins here with us too, and we're going to talk Smith County football for just a few minutes. So Terry, Coach Maynard, tell us what's coming up in the upcoming season.
Well, a lot of people are excited anytime it gets football time in Smith County. I guess you could always call it the king sport because more people turn out for football games than they do probably the other sports combined. And I know a lot of people, when you get into August, they really are concentrating on that start of the schedule and wanting to know how people did in scrimmages and what players we're going to look for Smith County High School come this fall. And Coach Maynard, I know it's got to be an exciting time for you, your staff, and your football team.
Well, I think it is, Terry. It's a hot time, I can tell you that. It's been pretty warm, and our guys have put in a lot of hard work in the off season to get ready for this time of year. And as you said, it is exciting, and I think everybody with our football team this year, I think particularly this year, a lot of anxiety, not knowing, I guess the unknown. We graduated a lot of players in the past 2 years. We graduated about 40 players, and I guess anticipation of what the Owls are going to look like this year is probably a question on everybody's mind.
Coach, when you look at this team and losing the amount of starters you've lost for the last couple of years, and you don't get to be ranked #1 in Class 3A in the state for nothing. And when you lose from 2- and 3-year starters, of course you've got their backups that are coming in those positions, but it makes it, when you don't have that experience to lean on as you've had the last few years, it makes it kind of an unknown when you look at the players that are going to be in starting positions this year.
Well, the greatest teacher is experience, and that's what we lack. I think we have the ability and players to accomplish what we want to accomplish. Another thing that we have to consider is our schedule. Our schedule is probably one of the toughest schedules we've had in some time, just based on the fact that we play the same people, but those programs are returning a lot of starters that have been, in a lot of cases, have been 2- and 3-year starters, and which makes for an exciting district. Last year our district competition, if you check the scores and the stats, we pretty much dominated our district a year ago with the scores. But this year is a new challenge, and I know that a lot of excitement in other places too, in Livingston and DeKalb County, and Gordonsville and White House, and that's just to name a few of the people that we do play. But those teams return a lot of starters, and it's going to be a challenge for us. There's a lot of unknowns, as I said before. We lost just when we returned 4 starters on defense and returned 5 starters on offense. But when you look at our kicking game, and that's sometimes I think people tend to take that for granted, but we lost our punter, we lost our long snapper, we lost our holder, and we lost our kicker, which is a third of the game, and that's a big concern for me right now, just the unknown there, because we absolutely have no experience in that area, and but I'm sure that there's a lot of other people thinking the same thing right now.
Coach, when you look at the preseason part of the schedule, I know that it's been, you got ready the scrimmages that are coming up, and you've got Whites Creek, DCA, then you've got Cookeville in the Jamboree, and then you've got that opener on August 17th at White County.
Well, we've always tried to play good preseason competition. Whites Creek is going to be a team that has a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. I know last year when we scrimmaged them, we struggled against them trying to get something going on offense, because they were pretty dominant up front with their defensive line, and we didn't do a great job. DCA's always had a great program. We've worked against them. We used to scrimmage them in the spring and the fall, but it's a good program to scrimmage against. They do things right. They're good people to work with, and we always enjoy that. And then we do have our jamboree, which I really like the format of our jamboree at Cookeville. We're able to go up there and split the proceeds, which it is a fundraiser for our quarterback club, and we're able to play 2 quarters with our 9th grade and 2 quarters with our JV, and then 2 quarters with our varsity, which gets everybody some playing time, and that's a good, I guess, a good lead up to that first game at White County. You know, White County, talking about White County's a team that's a 5A football team that I think last year they came on strong at the end of the season, won their last 3 or 4 games. Have got everybody back. In addition to that, they've got a new coaching staff, a young staff. I think they're very excited, and it's going to be a tough opener for us. You know, I've coached there for about 10 years. My first 10 years of coaching was at White County, and I know that those people in that community right now are very excited, and that's a community that also loves football and will support it very well. They've just been on hard times lately, but I expect them to be a tough challenge for us that first week.
Coach, when you look at your second game, one that a lot of people in Smith County anticipate, a game that'll be right here on DTC TV, and I guess when you add the fact that Gordonsville, one of the strongest teams in Class 1A this year, returned a lot of people from a year ago, and I don't know that you could ask for a better ball game at Gordonsville last year. It was a 15-14 double overtime win for the Owls. 0-0 after regulation. I don't think anybody was asking for a refund when they left Turney Ford Field in Gordonsville last year.
Well, it was a hard-fought ball game. You know, both teams laid it on the line, and you know, in a game like that, it's unfortunate, I guess, that anybody has to lose a game like that. But we were fortunate to make plays when we needed to and win the football game. But I think this season is one that Gordonsville's fans and coaching staff and the whole community have been waiting for a long time. This group of seniors that they have went undefeated in the middle school, and I think they, like I said, they've been waiting for this year to come around for a long time. I think they have the ability to definitely challenge for a state championship, and it's a good group. They have size up front. They're very strong up front. They have good skill players, and it's definitely going to be a challenge for our young guys and even our experienced guys. But you know, that's why they play the game, and we'll show up and we'll see what happens. But it should be an exciting time, and on top of that, it should be an awful good game for Smith County football.
Coach, when you look at your next game, the third one of the season, coming to the last day of this month on August 31st, a very much anticipated game with Livingston Academy, a team that's the preseason pick in District 8 AA. They return a lot of players, Creed Hayes, Brock McCoy, just a couple of names that will be big weapons for Livingston. And I know, you know, it doesn't get any easier once you get past Gordonsville.
No, as I mentioned earlier, the schedule is tough. I actually, in this area this year, I think in this Upper Cumberland area, we probably have more athletes than we've had in a long time. I was up at Tennessee Tech. They had a prospect day here about a couple of weeks ago, and I was out on the field and out there with them, and a lot of players from other teams were out there, and there's a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed, more speed than I've seen probably in my 14 years here at Smith County. It reminds me, you know, as far as the talent, it brings me back to, you know, a few years back when we were in a 10-team region. We were competing with Portland and Livingston and Trousdale County and all those people. There's a lot of good teams back during those days when we were in a 10-team region. But Livingston have always had tradition of good athletes. You mentioned the McCoy kid, just a tremendous athlete, quarterback, and the Hayes kid is good speed and got quick feet and presents a problem for you as far as trying to defend them. But not only that, they returned their whole starting offensive and defensive line. I think they've got 9 starters back on both sides of the ball. So a very seasoned team, and a lot of those players have started for a couple of years, and you know, that's a big game. And you know, right out the gate, you know, that's got district standings and playoffs and implications very early, and so that would be a tough challenge for our guys.
Another game that's going to be right here on DTC on September the 14th, and a team that's been really revived, I guess you could say, under Coach Trapp at DeKalb County, and you got to go to Smithville, and they've got a tremendous quarterback, the Phillips kid, some great skilled people. When you get the football, they've got a chance to break it from anywhere on the field.
Actually, I've talked to some people there from DeKalb County at a meeting I was at here a few weeks ago, and you know, their talk is that they think they have the best team they've ever had in the history of the school. And as you mentioned, Coach Trapp has done a great job reviving that program. And I know, you know, last year we normally don't give up 30 points, and if we do, we normally don't win. But last year they were able to score 30 points on our defense, and it turned into a shootout game. And they do have a lot of returning players. Most, I think, their whole team just about is returning. They lost 2 or 3 kids from their team. They did lose their kicker, who was an outstanding player a year ago. You know, they're very excited, and rightfully so. They do have some big play potential. They got Sonny Young did not play football last year, but he's about a 6'4" receiver that can jump out of the stadium, and I know they're looking forward to throwing the ball up to him. And Melander kid, very good player. So, and you mentioned their quarterback, but Phillips, but that's not all they have. But they're definitely a team that you know has got the ability to step in there and win this district, and we'll have to play well, and we have to go to DeKalb County.
Coach, when you look further down the schedule, a late season game, I know that our fans always get up for, and been 3 very exciting games the last 3 years, and you play White House, and they're always a tough, quality program. You were fortunate, I thought, really maybe played one of your better games last year in the White House game at home, which I think was like a 35-12 win.
Was one of our better games. I thought we played very well, especially the first half. Executed offensively about as well as we could execute. You know, anytime you can win a game against White House and score 35 points, you know that you've done a heck of a job. And I've been very fortunate. We've had, you know, we've had 3 great football games with White House, and I'm lucky to say that we're 3-0 right now. And you don't say that very often against a team like White House and a program like White House. A lot of comparisons between the 2 programs. You know, again, White House is a team that we were very familiar with. We scrimmaged them every fall until we started playing here 4 years ago. But, you know, in their situation, they returned all their offensive linemen. Their tailback was a great player last year. He's back for his senior year. And I think, you know, their situation, if they can find a quarterback, I think their tailback, they'd love to leave him there, but if not, they'll play him at quarterback and plug somebody in for tailback position. But they're going to be a strong opponent. And you mentioned the TV game. We did play them twice on TV, and we've been on this station several times. And I can say this, I'm going to knock on wood, we've been very fortunate on TV. We're undefeated on TV, so I hope we keep that string alive.
Coach, you'll get a chance to do that again in week 10 when you play York Institute. They come to town, always a big district battle, and kind of like throw the records out the window when you play York Institute. You know you're going to get a tough, very rugged football team when York comes to town.
York hit on some bad luck last year. They had a lot of injuries to some of their key players, and they were playing with youthful kids. They had some freshmen, sophomores in the lineup, and you know, kind of at that time of year when we played them 10th game, those things had added up, and you know, they were not the quality team that they'd been in years past. But you know, I expect York is one of those teams that you don't hear a lot about. They're just kind of it's like they're not on this planet sometimes. You don't hear much about them until it's time to play, but it's hard to keep up with them. But I know Coach Brown will have those kids ready, and those freshmen are now sophomores. Those sophomores are down now juniors, and they're going to be a little more seasoned. Plus, they've got the Huddleston kid that was hurt a year ago. They got him back, and their quarterback last year was a very good athlete and a good player. So they're going to be a much improved football team, no doubt.
Coach, when you look at the season as a whole, I know that it's 10 games. You're guaranteed those 10 games, and each of the 13 seasons that you've been here at Smith County High School, you've been fortunate enough to take your team to playoffs, and I know that's a goal of yours and your staff every year to get inside those playoffs and to make racket when you get there. And I know last year you ran into a very good Pearl Cone team in the first game. Didn't know if that was a fair draw or not. Of course, that to be debated, but a very athletic team. Had 4 turnovers, and I know that hurts you anytime you get in the playoffs, but you know, the playoffs are something, I guess, that each team strives for once the season starts. And it's been such a long time since Smith County didn't taste the playoffs. It's like we think we're going to go there each year.
We expect to, Terry. We expect to win our district every year. We expect to go to the playoffs, and our goal ultimately is to win a state championship. And we strive to do that every day, whether it's in the off season or wherever it is. And that's a tough chore. I don't care even how good you are. You got to be good. And you got to be lucky to be able to do those things. And the thing that I'm most proud of for our football program is the consistency that we've had. You mentioned, you know, that we've been to the playoffs each of those 13 years. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that we've averaged about 9 or maybe a little over 9 wins a season. I think that's a great measuring stick. I think that's how you judge a program on the consistency. And it's nothing that I've done. It's these guys that are sitting here beside me. It's the hard work that they put into that. It's the parents. It's the support. It's administration. It's the community. All those things contribute to being successful. And we've been very fortunate to be able to sustain that consistency over a 13-year period. And I expect nothing but to do it the 14th year and make it 14 years in the playoffs. And we'd love to, you know, be, I guess you call it back-to-back on district championship. I guess it could be called three-peat as far as the district goes, but we'd like to do that. That's a goal of ours. And it's an attainable goal. I think these young men believe in that, and they believe that's going to happen. That's, you know, we always have, and you know, until somebody takes it away from us, it's going to happen again.
Coach, we've got 4 players with us today. Got 4 seniors, and I know that it's probably a tough pick for you to figure out which ones you're bringing, because each are an integral part, Coach. And I say that to say this. Even the player that maybe is a senior that's on the practice squad that goes out there every day and prepares these young men that are starters for a game situation on Friday night, very important.
They're all important, and everybody has their part, and that's the thing that we try to instill into these young men, that every person, every player out there has their job to do, and if they will do that and do their job, then everything will work out. These 4 young men have been a big part of our football program for the past 4 years. They've worked hard the past those 4 years that they've been in high school, and these 4 are 4 that and we preach this all the time, and I preach it in school when I was a principal, and also the football team. You got to have good leadership. It starts with leadership. If you don't have leadership, you're not going to have much. And these are 4 young men that I rely on heavily to lead our football team. And there's also some others, and as we said, we got about 17 or 18 seniors, and obviously we couldn't bring all of them, and there's some others that were deserving to come and speak, but these were the 4 that I chose to bring along with me today, because I feel like that they've contributed very much over the last 3 years of their career, and are going to contribute a lot to our program this year.
Coach, they got to be tickled to death because 3 of these 4 are linemen. And I know linemen sometimes don't get the maybe the PR that the running backs or the quarterback or the receivers or people like that get. That's who you read about in the paper, but when it gets right down to it, your offensive and defensive lines determine many nights the success of your football team.
I'm going to correct you just a little bit. There's 4 of these 4 linemen.
Well, Sam gets to play tight end, Coach.
Sam gets to play. That's kind of a glorified lineman, I guess, so to speak. But they are linemen, and I tell them this every year. You know, they don't get their name in the paper a whole lot, but how our football team goes is going to be dependent on how our offensive and defensive lines play. I believe that. I've always believed that. That's where it starts. I can assure you that when I watch practice, I know what these guys are doing in their drills. They're the group that's working the hardest. You know, there's never a session where the other kids run a lot, and I guess most players don't like to run a lot, but these guys are in constant contact from the time practice starts to the time it ends, and they're the ones that get chewed on quite a bit when Coach Maynard gets ill and we don't make a block and the running play don't work. They're the first group that gets yelled at probably the most, but they're also the group that we have to count on. And without this group, I can assure you that 13-year string of playoffs, if they don't perform it will end. I feel certain of that, but I also have confidence that this group is going to get it done for us.
Let's introduce them, Terry.
Let's do that. We'll start over here on the end, and then I've never sat this close to my twin, and us not, maybe been elbowing or kicking each other or whatever. But down on the end, we've got Taylor Carter. And Taylor, I know that playing in the Owl line, starting, I guess now for a couple of years, you got to pretty well know last year that on about 80% of the plays that were called, they were running plays. And you know that when you're run blocking, not that pass blocking you don't, but run blocking, you make a mistake, and not only Coach Maynard, but Coach Tackett's on you pretty good. But knowing that you're going to run the football a lot, you got to start the game being physical. And I know that's something that you take pride in and do. And tell us a little about what you've done in the off season in order to prepare yourself for the season.
We just worked out a lot and lifted weights and tried to get in shape as much as I could. I'm probably going to be playing both sides of the ball this year. Just trying to get in shape and get stronger.
Last year, of course, you only played on one side of the football, on the offensive side, and didn't play defense. You are getting an opportunity to do that this time. You like the defensive side better?
I don't know. I like offense a whole lot. I've played a lot more offense, but I like defense too.
Sitting beside you is Zach Carter, returning lineman for the Owls. In fact, he was the district AAA most valuable lineman a year ago. But Zach, I don't believe the people that line up against you this year are going to be concerned with that at all. They're going to come at you and come at you hard. And I know when you look at the Owls and returning players that we have, of course, everybody knows about Jalen Manning and the type of player he is. It's got to be fun to block for a guy that is explosive as Jalen Manning.
Yes, sir, it is. If you got a running back like him, it makes our job a whole lot easier than it usually would be to block for him. He's so good.
Probably only have to hold that block for just a count or maybe a couple of counts, and it's not like a big slow fullback or somebody getting through the whole kind of slow, but he's hitting in there hard, and I know he has people an opportunity to take it the distance and make people miss.
You're right about that. He's pretty good, but I'm still going to try to block till the whistle blows either way.
Coach Manning, when you look at Taylor and Zach both, I know they have really developed over their careers, and you've leaned on them heavily since they've been in high school, and they even saw some meaningful snaps when they were freshmen.
They did. They actually had to start a few games there as freshmen. I don't know that they're ever ready to do that as a freshman, but out of necessity, they gained some valuable experience. Zach had a great year last year. Like you said, was our MVP on our team, plus the district's MVP as the offensive lineman. Taylor, I expect he's going to have a great year this year. Taylor's gotten himself in great shape, the greatest shape he's been in, I'd say, since he was a baby probably. But lost some weight, gotten quicker, can run now and run for a good while. But to his credit, he just came off of shoulder surgery last year, pretty severe surgery, and I'm sure that anyone that just come off of surgery, especially shoulder surgery, and you're an offensive lineman, it's gonna slow you just a little bit. But we expect big things from both of these guys. They're two guys that's going to help us anchor that offensive line.
On the other end of the table down here is Spencer Hackett and Sam Holloman, and they've actually got numbers on that they can catch the football. And I know on offense they're looking at some tight end positions, and maybe on defense, Spencer being the Hulk that he is at 300, just barely 200 pounds, going to be playing defensive tackle. And Spencer, a lot of nights you're going to have to use that quickness and good leverage to create some havoc in the opponent's backfield.
Yes, sir, and we always prepare and practice. I think our offensive linemen are some of the best, so we always try to practice against the best. And it's always me and Zach just going head-to-head every day. I don't always win either.
He's got several pounds on you, so you kind of got to outsmart him and use that leverage. And I know that kind of weighs on you probably from day to day.
Well, I don't outsmart many people. I try to do what I can with beating Zach.
All right, beside him is Sam Holloman. Sam, of course, defensive end / tight end, and going to see a lot of action on both sides of the ball. Sam, I know it's been very important this summer, and even after football was over last year, that you get yourself in top physical shape. Tell us some of the things that you've had to do in order to prepare for playing for both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Well, my main thing was trying to get stronger, and whether that's in practice or just at home, so my main thing is trying to get stronger for the next year. And talking about going both sides of the ball, I've had to run at home and at practice to make sure that I'm in key shape for that. So.
Coach Maynard, when you look at these two young men, probably undersized for their positions, but they got a great heart and they've got motors that just don't stop.
Well, you know, and that's the whole key for us on the defensive side of the ball. Spencer's our biggest guy on defense, and I don't know if Spencer even weighs 200 pounds, but he's probably the largest guy that we have on our defensive front. But you know, when Spencer started playing, he played a little tight end, played a little fullback, moved him around, and finally a couple of years ago, I said, Spencer, how about this defensive line stuff? I said, you know, he always had a motor, dedicated to the game, worked hard, and wanted to give him an opportunity to get on the field and play. He'll be the first to tell you he probably doesn't have the skills that as a receiver does, although he's going to be a tight end for us, but or the speed to be a fullback. But he's improved all in those areas. But as a defensive lineman, he's got the motor. He falls right in line. Spencer got a lot of playing time last year. He falls right in the same mold as the two that we just lost a year ago, and Andrew Allen and Lynn Slack. He's just in the same mold. As Zach will tell you, you know, they do go against each other every day. And I was down in the drill the other day. They were going one-on-one. That's kind of advantage Zach because, you know, in a confined area, Zach should win. And if he doesn't win, but I can tell you right now, Zach will know that Spencer's made him a better player because of the quickness that, you know, when you're a big guy, the hardest thing for you to do is try to block movement and quickness. And these guys are having to do that every day. And it makes us, and the hardest thing for a quicker guy is when you get a big guy on him. So it's kind of worked out both ways for both people. But you know, we do expect Spencer to be the anchor there in the defensive line. Sam, back before the season started, and Sam will remember this. I saw him in the weight room, and Sam is a player that's always known what to do. Very smart football player. Sam's biggest problem is that Sam was afraid he was going to make a mistake. And just didn't get his motor running. So I told Sam, forget about that. Get your motor running. You go all out. If it's wrong, we'll get it straightened out. But you get your motor going and play hard. And, you know, Trey Salisbury, Sam is stepping in for Trey Salisbury. We can all remember Trey last year. Looked like Spider-Man out there, just, you know, 6'5" frame and arms, legs everywhere, flying all over the place, making plays. And Sam has that same ability, and actually he may be even faster than Trey. And so we're expecting Sam to do exactly what we just lost. And one of the things that made our defense go last year was our two defensive ends. We had Cody Webb and Trey Salisbury, and it allowed us to be the defense that we were able to be because we line up against a team that ran the football, or we could, you know, seem to spread you out, which seems to be the norm anymore. And those guys did good in space, and Sam was good in space also. So, you know, I think we've got him in the right spot. And on offense, he's a good blocker. You know, I wish he did weigh about 20 pounds more, but we'll work with what we got. But his technique is great, and his ball catching skills are good.
Denise, I know it's exciting for a lot of fans in our area to be able to pull up dtccom.net and to view the game live. I know that's something that has just taken place here in the last year or two, and you know, that's got to be for people, grandmothers, granddaddies, or
Exactly.
you know, that can't get to the game,
That's
get an
right.
opportunity to see that game, and I know that's got to be a big thrill for them.
It is, and you have people, some relatives that live out of state, and they can pull it up on the internet, and then also, the guys will have a chance to watch themselves too, because after, the week after the game, it will be on DTC3. So they'll get to watch themselves, and as well as those in the viewing area. So we appreciate DTC and what they bring to the football.
Well, they've expanded their coverage, you know, and I think, you know, even into other sports, and they cover events for our fair, and you know, they make us a local priority, and that's big for
It is.
for whatever event you may be in. I know I've been to the fair, and they've had people over there taping the beauty contest and different things, and you know, we don't realize how fortunate we are here in Smith County to have somebody that's as active as they are in our
A local
community.
community active. It's a local business active in our local community. And guys, we want to wish you good luck. I'm excited. I can't wait until the first kickoff, and it's your senior year. Make it your best and give it all you've got. And you know, you look up in those stands, I know that's bound to make your adrenaline go. And we're up there cheering for you. And Coach, good luck. We appreciate y'all coming today.
We appreciate you having us here, and again, we are very fortunate. I stress that to these guys all the time. We're very fortunate in a lot of ways. As Denise said there, you look up in the stands and you see a lot of people. There's a lot of programs that don't have the support. You know, there's times that we'll play in front of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people and have opportunities to do that. Plus you have, you know, radio stations and TV stations and newspapers, and we've been live on TV 2 or 3 times. We're just very fortunate in this community to have the support and the opportunity to do what you do, guys. And I know I've told them that several times, and because I've been in other places that we're not that fortunate, and we are very fortunate. And again, I appreciate you having these guys on. I get to do this quite often, but it's good that these guys get on TV and talk a little bit, and we appreciate you having us down here.
And Terry's always on the sideline. He's doing the radio program, and he's doing the stats. He's just multi-talented. And I don't know why you didn't ask me any football questions, Terry.
I really don't. If we would have had a longer show, there's no doubt. Maybe we can get in that at the Christmas parades this year
Okay.
that we do.
All right,
But
sounds
just want to
good.
remind everybody, we'll be doing a player of the game. I know DTC is excited about doing that at the conclusion of each game, and then at the end of the season, they're going to have a player of the year. So something for maybe even these young men here to strive for as the upcoming season. It's just a couple of weeks away. I know a lot of people are very excited about that.
They are. Go Owls. Joining us now on the Chamber Corner, we have the Gordonsville Tigers. We have a few other football players. We have Keith Williams, and we have Coach Ron Marshall. Guys, tell us what's going on in Gordonsville Tiger football.
Well, first of all, it's good to be here today. I've got Coach Ron Marshall. I've got 3 of his student athletes with us today, and we're looking forward to this 25 minutes more or less. And Coach Marshall, thank you for stopping in. I know this time of year it's a busy schedule. Minutes are at a premium, but it's good to have you here.
Well, we appreciate it, Keith. It's always glad to get a little recognition.
Well, that's what we're here for. And Coach Marshall, I know before we look ahead to this season, last season was a great experience. We made it to the semis, and I know that you've got a lot of good returning talent back this year, and I know you're looking forward to getting back out on the field and getting under the lights.
Well, we always like to play on Friday nights. We tell our kids we practice to get to play, and that's exactly what we do. Practice never is really a lot of fun, but those games sure are, and that's what we do. We practice to get to play on Friday nights.
Well, sitting over to the left, we've got 3 players, and they must be important players because they're here with us today, and 3 seniors, and Tyler Cohen, Peyton Watson, and JT Swain. I want you to kind of just talk about those 3 young men. I know you've had them since they were freshmen, and looking back over the last 4 years, the first season you came back to Gordonsville, this will be your 5th year. You didn't have a good season, but since then it's got better, and I know these 3 young men seated to my left had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, these 3 young men are really good athletes and good students. They're the 3 captains of our ball club. They were actually voted on as representatives by their peers, and then I assigned them their duties as captains. And they set the standard and lead the football team on and off the field, and they all 3 do a good job of that. You know, my first year here, they were in the 8th grade, and they went up to York and played in the championship game up there against Livingston Academy, and showed some stamina and strength and desire in winning that football game, because it was a close football game. And I remember Cohen throwing up and them slapping the
Surely
ball.
not.
And him just didn't stop playing. Peyton made a little miscue at the beginning of the ball game, but he made up for it later on in the ball game and really did well. And of course, JT played well too in it. And I just, I watched them as young men playing, and they've done a great job for me all 3 years that I've had them, and both on and off the field and in the weight room. And in fact, all three of these guys right here bench over 300, with two of them getting up close to 350. So
That's a lot of muscle.
Strong men,
yeah,
strong men.
they've had a lot of dedication in the weight room, worked, and we've got a lot of young men that have worked that hard. We've got 9 over 300 on squat on bench right now. We've got I don't know how many we got over power cleans, 14 over
14 or
250.
15.
And I think we've got 12 over 400 on squats, and we're not talking about a quarter squat. We're talking about a parallel squat where the top of the leg has to go parallel to the ground. And so they've been very dedicated in the weight room, and we're hoping that'll translate and convert to good things on the football field.
Well, Coach, I know these 3 young men are seniors, but of course we don't have time, we're limited with time to talk about the whole squad. But I understand that there's 19 seniors this year. They have worked hard, and no doubt about it, those other 16 seniors have probably participated with y'all since the get-go, and I know. But with that said, 19 seniors, man, that's got to be a luxury.
It is. This is a very tight-knit group. They're close. They've played together since they were in the 6th grade. The majority of them have. We're anxious to see them get on the field, and I've told them and people, the sky's the limit if they'll come together and gel and unite as one and do everything they can to strive for the team and not the individuals, and that's what we're striving to do.
Well, for you that don't know Coach Ron Marshall, he's got a nickname. We know him around Gornsville as the Moose, but Coach Marshall, 5th year back at Gornsville, but you're no amateur to this sport. You've been in coaching for 30 years, but to come back to your alma mater, you graduated in 1976. I know we've talked about this many times over the last several years, but I know being back to Gornsville and surrounding yourself by a coaching staff like you have on board, no doubt it's also a great honor and privilege.
Yeah, Coach Melly got the principal's job, and he called me and offered me the job as head coach, and I didn't even hesitate. I said sure, and actually came up the next Monday. He talked to me on a Sunday. Next Monday, I came up and started filling my paperwork and stuff out. And then, of course, we went through spring right at the end of the school year that year. But being able to coach with Scott Clemens and Jonathan Bush and Lee Allison, and of course Coach Melly joined our staff 2 years ago, and me and Mark coached together for 7 years at Lebanon, with him being the head coach and offensive coordinator and me being the defensive coordinator. And he's really taken a load off of me as far as the offense goes, because that leaves me to be able to concentrate on defense, which is my forte anyway. And it's helped out all around. And then we've got several other coaches that coach with us also. We got Russell Bennett, and then we got Gary Glover, who volunteered, and there's 2 good volunteer coaches as I've ever had. And they work really hard. And then we got our special coach, Michael King. You can't leave him out of the
Can't
picture.
leave Michael out.
Yeah.
Valuable.
And I'm sure one of the reasons that you didn't hesitate to come here, Coach Marshall, is because you know that this community is a football community. You've got some of the best fans up there in the stands, and some of the most dedicated fans that there are counties, surrounded. This county is just a good, solid football supporting, and over in Gordonsville, you've got that support. I know you guys, when you're out there playing, that means a lot to look up there, and it's blue. The stands are just blue, but you've got wonderful fans, and I know, Keith, you've been in with Gordonsville football for how long?
Well, I've been doing radio for 14 years, graduated in 1972, and had the honor to play under Coach Ford, turning forward like Coach Marshall, and it's a special.
It is, and not a lot of communities have that, and I know you feel fortunate to have that backing of your
Sure I do.
community.
I've always, even before I came back, I've told colleagues and players that I've coached in Gordonsville on Friday nights, if you wanted to rob the place, you could do it on Friday night because everybody goes to the ball game
Everybody's at
and
the ball
nobody's
game.
at home.
And showing their support.
Exactly. And we've got a really, really good fan base, and they do a wonderful job supporting us, and we appreciate that because you never know what a difference it makes on a 4th and 1, and we got to hold somebody in the crowd. It gives us their support, or we need to get a first down, and we hear them yelling and screaming, and it gets our adrenaline flowing, and it really helps more than what people realize.
Yes.
Coach, preseason brings in a lot of talk. And I know these young men, they know about the internet, they pick up papers and stuff. And I'm not here to predict or even expect, but I know that a lot of early indicators say that we're pretty good this year. And I know that with 19 seniors, how do you handle this? Because I know that the young men that you're dealing with, 14 through 18, 19 years old, 17-year-old kids, I know there's some pressure, not only you, but the players, but throughout the week and preparation, how do you go about your daily, trying to not think about it?
Well, first of all, and I tell the kids this, and I tell myself this, and I tell anybody I talk to about this, we take it one ball game at a time, we take it one practice at a time, and we try not to look ahead. What it boils down to is if we don't win ball games during the season, then it don't matter what we do in the playoffs because we're not going to get there. These guys have got pretty good heads on those shoulders. They know how to act. They understand their role and their responsibilities, and they know that we've got to prepare mentally and physically in order to get ready for our opponents. Now, as far as this year goes, we've got 19 seniors. We've got some strong football players, but when it's all said and done, we'll start finding out here in a few weeks what we really got, because we hadn't won a single ball game yet. And hopefully they understand that, and we'll be able to go out and show people what we can do.
I think I'll take a line from Coach Bob Dillard. He used to say first of the season, boys, we've got 10 games. They're guaranteed. After that, I don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly, and that's the way we've got to approach it this year, and we can't look ahead to anybody. We're going to have to take them one ball game at a time, and hopefully if we do that, then if these young men take and listen, respond, and understand what we're trying to teach them and do, and they come together, and that's going to be one of the most important things they've got to do. They've got to come together as one, as a unit, and I believe they will, because these guys have been playing together for so long together. If we do that, then the sky's the limit.
They have a team spirit. They're
Yes.
unified as one.
Yes.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the schedule. Of course, 10 games. The start of the season is about 3 weeks away. We open up with Smith County. Of course, Smith County and Westmoreland, the two only non-region games. Other than that, 8 games, all region games, all very important. You start out with the big 3, Smith County, Friendship, and Trousdale County. I know you're not looking ahead, but looking at our region again, once again, a very, very talented region from top to bottom.
Yeah, somebody in our region usually wins the state year in and year out. Trousdale's won it twice. Friendship's won it once. We've been to the semifinals and been in the playoff and the quarterfinals twice since I've been back. And year in and year out, our region is a very, very strong region. And we are a region. We're one of the few regions in the state. Most single-A football teams are in a district, which they take the 2 top in each one of the districts. But what they did with us is they combined two districts into a region in order to help us with our scheduling and travel. And therefore, it helps us with that, but it also took and put several schools that are pretty good together in one region. And so sometimes it's a benefit, sometimes it's a handicap in those regards, but we take it with stride, and hopefully we'll be able to do what we need to do.
I didn't want to leave the young men out here. It seems like all the talks were weighing down this end of the table. JT Swain, JT is a
Go ahead and tell them about yourself, JT.
Go ahead, yeah, JT.
I'm a offensive guard and left for the left side, and I'm also a defensive end, our G, our defense position.
Colin?
Oh, I'm a offensive tackle and defensive tackle.
I'm Peyton Watson, and I play a quarterback and corner.
Each one of these young men play a very important role on both sides of the football. You know, and we don't have the luxury a lot of bigger schools have. Our athletes have to play both ways, and it means we've got to be in a little better conditions than some opponents. Sometimes they want to kill me for running them, but we have to do it in order to get ready to play people like Smith County, who has enough people to go one way, and they're rested when they come on the football field.
You guys have to have a lot of stamina. And Peyton, you played quarterback for many years. You played it in junior high or middle school, and you've played with this group of guys. What are you looking forward to this season?
I'm just looking forward to spending my senior year with all my close friends and us just going out there and experiencing Friday nights together.
It's, you know, you form a bond there, and you guys have been playing together for a long time. JT, what are you looking? Tell me about your upcoming season.
Well, we've all been working really hard, and like Coach said, we all are taking it one game at a time, but mostly it's how we've come together as basically brothers and just experiencing with each one of us.
Right. Tyler?
I just know that we have a great season ahead of us. Together as one, we have no weaknesses, and I feel like we can do anything together, so I look like we're going to have a good season.
Well, you've got a good, solid group of guys, and I know you're very proud of them.
Yes, I am very proud of them. I've told my players many times that once I've coached you, you're a part of my family for the rest of your life. And that's the way I feel about it.
They're a good group, and they're a good group to be a part of your family. Great group of boys.
Well, if I could say something just right quick, I just want to say this. 15 years ago, John Wood over at the radio station, which is right here behind us, he asked me if I wanted to help the man that was doing play-by-play, and the first thing I thought of is, you know, it's going to be a little travel, but he said, well, you'll get into the games free, and we'll buy you something to eat. Well, 15 years ago, I got on the Tiger bus, and over the last 14, 15 years, I've done hundreds of basketball games, hundreds of football games, and I'm part of sometimes I don't know if I am or not, but I feel like I'm part of Tiger football, and
Of course you are.
I've really enjoyed it. I mean, if somebody told me today I couldn't do it anymore, there'd be a fight. But I really love it, and I appreciate Coach Marshall. What a man to work with.
Appreciate that. We appreciate you.
And we're just looking forward to this season. I know it starts out in the heat and ends up in the cold, but I don't think we actually touched on the weather. I know it's been a hot summer. TSSAA has regulated practices. I think it's a heat index of 104. You've got to watch that real close, because I know these young men, their health is the most important thing, and you got to watch that, Coach.
Yeah, we take a heat index reading every day before we go out for practice. And of course, the weight room, it's still pretty cool down there, so we don't have to worry about that. And during the summer, most of the time we work early in the morning or late at night to get out of the heat. And that's worked pretty well for us all summer, this summer. And, you know, now we're getting to where we're practicing at our normal time, which is probably the hottest part of the day. And that's when we have to really watch the heat index. And last year there were a couple days to where we had to literally send them away for an hour or so and then bring them back and practice after it cooled down a little bit. Or wait in the dressing room for 10 or 15 minutes to see if it's going to cool down any. But we've been fortunate to be able to get our practice in and get done what we need to do. And the weather's part of football, so, you know, we just kind of take it in stride and go.
I'd like to take this time to also thank DTC, of course, for live telecasts coming up this year. It starts out with week 1 against Smith County. Week 3, it'll be Trousdale County up over at Gornsville, over at Turning Ford Field. Week 8, October the 12th, against Watertown, and I think that Watertown game's at Gornsville also. And then week 9, Clay County. We'll be traveling up to Salina to take on Clay County, and that's always an exciting trip, no doubt. But 4 games this year on DTC, and we sure do appreciate it because it gets a lot of coverage out there, and I know people that I know that watch the games quite often on the playback, they really do enjoy it, Coach.
Yeah, they do. We do have season tickets on sale, and so if you want a season ticket, you better get one because they're going to go pretty fast this year.
Who do they need to contact, Coach Marshall, if they want to
They
see
just need to
some?
call and talk to Barbara Duke in the office.
Okay.
And I think she deals with season tickets now. I don't know if she's actually started selling them yet, but
That's who they need to contact
that's
to
who
get
they-
on the list. I'm
right.
sure there's a waiting list for Gordonsville
Yeah.
Football Tiger, you know,
yeah,
Tiger
there's a lot of
football.
people renew. The people that had their seats last year have the opportunity first to renew their season ticket seats, and then after that, it's whatever we have left, and that's for reserve seats, and just a season ticket. If you want to just go ahead and get your season ticket, you do that too, to where that you don't have to wait at the gate every time to get in, because sometimes there's some pretty good lines getting in our ball games.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
Coach Marshall, we wish you the best of luck, the Tigers, the whole Tiger team, JT, Tyler, and Peyton. I hope you have a wonderful season. It's going to be your senior year. This is something you've looked forward to for a long, long time, and I know that you're excited about it. And I just wish you the best of luck and enjoy every minute. You know, they don't realize sometimes when you get my age, if I had one more opportunity, you know, to go back and get back on that basketball court or something, but, you know, to just enjoy it and to make it your most.
Sure.
But we wish y'all the best of luck, and Keith, thank you for bringing us Gordonsville football.
Well, I'm glad my phone rang and got to talk to you, and it's great to be here.
Well, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Upcoming events in Smith County. On Tuesday, August the 7th at 3 o'clock, we have a public meeting for the Walton Road Scenic Byway Corridor Management Plan. And that's going to be held at the Walton Hotel. There's going to be refreshments served. So this is a very important meeting. And as I said, it's a public meeting. And the project consultant, Ladner and Klein, they're going to be there and they're going to discuss the progress of the Walton Road Scenic Byway Plan and its plans to include Smith County. So that's a very important meeting. So please try to join us on Tuesday, August the 7th at 3 o'clock at the Walton Hotel. And then coming up on Thursday, August the 9th at 11 o'clock, the Chamber of Commerce will be welcoming a new member, the Eads Museum, at the Eads Museum over in South Carthage. So come and welcome this new chamber member. August the 28th at 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock, the Smith County Chamber will be offering a QuickBooks training. This is the first in 2 series that will be offered here. The second series or class session in this will be September 4th. So contact the Chamber if you have an employee or if you would like to get brushed up on your QuickBooks and join this very, very informative session. On August 31st, from 8 until 9, we have our Coffee Connection with State Representative Terry Lynn Weaver. You can come talk one-on-one with her, and sometimes she has special guests, but it's an opportunity for you to meet and speak with your representative. On Sunday, September the 2nd at 5 p.m., there's going to be a Labor Day gospel singing at the Pleasant Shade Community Center. The Mid-State Quartet and others are going to be performing, and there will be a concession stand available. Also, don't forget about our Smith County Farmers Market. This is a wonderful place to go to get fresh produce grown here in Smith County. Wonderful, wonderful prices. There's someone there just about every day. So don't forget to stop in the Smith County Farmers Market to get your fresh produce. Also, I just want to remind you that you can receive one-on-one counseling for existing businesses, or if you're thinking about opening a small business, whether it's counseling in social media, whether it's marketing, operations, management, or any type of business service. The Center for Small Business Excellence Consultants through the Smith County Chamber of Commerce provides guidance every step of the way at no cost to you, so you can't beat that. So contact the Smith County Chamber of Commerce to set up your appointment with the Small Business Counseling. Also, we want to invite you to view our new website. The Chamber has worked very hard and we're still in the progress adding information, but visit our new website at www.smithcountychamber.org. We also like us on Facebook. We put out information all the time of community events and happenings on our Facebook page. Also, to receive additional information, you can sign up for our Chamber newsletter, and we send this out via email currently once a month, but it keeps you informed of the Chamber activities as well as community activities. And the Chamber wants to promote your events or your news, any news or event that's going on in Smith County. All you have to do is give us a call at 735-2093, or you can email us at info@smithcountychamberofcommerce.org. Or on our new website, on our calendar page, you can submit an event yourself, and that goes directly to us, and we'll get that on our various ways that we can to promote your business. But we thank you for joining us today for the Smith County Chamber Corner, and we want to say a special thank you to DTC TV for making the show possible. Thanks so much and have a great day.